Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. As I always say, patience is a virtue. So, if you just, take it easy a little bit and wait, you're going to realize that the truth will come and will provide the necessary information that was hidden, ignored before. So, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the Ukrainians, and moreover, this guy Danilov, who I have a personal dislike for him based on his statements and not only, comes and tells us that actually Ukraine is being pushed to the negotiating table by many countries. So when they say on one hand that Ukraine, everybody is against Russia and is supporting Ukraine and until the final victory against the evil and all that, you find out even from this guy's mouth that hey, actually there's many countries over there who really want us to go and negotiate instead of having us fight for them and destroy them. So let's see what this weasel has to say in Ukrainska Pravda. This article comes from May 11th, 2023. Ukraine being, and I'm quoting, brought to negotiating table on Russia's terms, Ukraine's National Security and Defense Council Secretary. Ram pam pam, this is the guy. Imagine this guy being your boss, coming very close to you, whispering something in your ear about... Okay, that's how he speaks. Alexei Danilov, Secretary of the Ukrainian National Security and Defense Council, NSDC, has stated that many countries have been escalating the situation to bring Ukraine to the negotiating table with the aggressor on Russia's terms. That means, Danilov, they are sick and tired of doing what that country tell them to do on the territory of Ukraine. And you knew that, and we all knew that the time will come sooner or later. If Russia doesn't collapse, then this will be, they call it cold feet. That means they don't want to provide and, don't want to self-flagellate. That means they have to stop and say, well, why would I do this to me for you because he said that? I really don't want to. And they start talking, louder and louder and louder. And that's what he says right now. And he says on Russia's terms. Well, I think the terms should have been the ones before February 2022, the 24th of February 2022. I think those should have been, I don't want to say generous, but I think it would have been a much better situation than you are right now in. But hey, I don't think he cares about where he's at because he's still riding the high horse over there, and he's featured all over the world as Mr. Danilov. So nothing's going to happen to him. He's still in power. His family is going to have his portrait in their home and say, this was Mr. Danilov, man, it's your ancestor, man. Without knowing that Mr. Danilov was actually all that. You know what I mean? But that happened in Romania, and I was looking like, really? But hey, what can you do? Each family looks at their ancestors in a positive light because their ancestors might have made them proud. Like I'm pretty sure Danilov's family were going to have the portrait over there, and good for them. Let's go back to this article though. So Danilov during the National Joint 24/7 newscast, and I'm quoting, "The situation is getting escalated to get us to the negotiating table on Russia's terms as soon as possible." Well, this doesn't make sense given the so-called imminent counteroffensive that Ukraine is planning with the help of, you know what I mean? So if that counteroffensive is right there and is coming and is going to change the course of the war, now they are whistling out. They say, actually, it's not going to be only one counteroffensive. It's going to be more than one counteroffensive. Oh, why? Because they expect not to do shit, this one, probably, and they leave a door open to escape when things don't go according to plan. Now they say, well, the counteroffensive, we don't expect much about it. Hey, maybe the counteroffensive should wait. Zelensky did not sign the counteroffensive order yet, and he said, I have an article that I read earlier today, where Zelensky said, maybe we should postpone this counteroffensive. That's what they're gonna do. We're not ready. I thought they were ready. Zaluzny said we're ready. Ignat said they're ready. Even Zelensky said they're ready. Until this morning. And this morning they said, well, no, we're not ready. We need more preparation. Surprise, surprise. Anyway, so let's go back to this guy here. A major campaign has been launched in this regard, which is negotiating table on Russia's term as soon as possible. This is the campaign he talks about. There are many proposals from different countries on this matter. Well, I thought we are all united. But keep in mind that I am more than sure, okay, that if we discuss an issue and the president makes such a decision, it will be only on the terms of our country. Well, it's a little bit too late for that, unless, as I said, the Russians are dispersed, to put a very nice weasel word. Danilov said that the Russian forces' claims of a shortage of ammunition were far from true. Well, you guys are doing great, but you're losing territory somehow. According to him, the Russian dictator is, and I'm quoting, a scumbag who kills 500 Russian or Ukrainian children. I don't think it's 500. I would say that's 50 billion. I think it's 50 billion children. How about that? And civilized people like you, Danilov, should understand this. And I'm quoting, when some people say that Putin is not a terrorist and is not the person who started this war, then this person, the person saying this, is out of their mind. Well, you can call people however you want, but you can't, as of now, allow or prevent people from, getting their information and thinking. Independent thinking, I'm talking. So yes, you can say that, but as I said, I don't think, if this guy, Putin, is a terrorist, then I would call the guys who ordered some assassinations within Russia terrorists as well. Shouldn't I? Oh no. Okay then. All right. And many other. Who started the war? Well, if you bring your weapons next to my, and you surround my plot of land and you put, all kind of rackets around me and you want to move closer and closer, what am I supposed to do? Well, this is what I would do. If I'm strong, I would say, guys, you are too close. I'm scared that you want to actually take care of me. So I'm going to defend myself physically. In order for us to avoid that, if we want to avoid that, and I definitely want, please move your stuff away from me a little bit, because I think you just want to kill me. And the guys have two options to say, okay, yes, I think you, all right, we don't want to fight. I don't think it's good for either of us and for anybody else. So let's pull back. That's one option. Or the other one is like, yeah, but we want to actually take care of you. So what are you going to do about it? I think you're scared. And if you're going to do that, we are going to point the finger at you that you started the war. And then when you start the war, we're going to all get together and we're going to fuck you up. And you're going to be the one who we're going to say, it's your fault. You started the war and we had to react and we up. Exactly what we wanted when we brought our troops closer and our infrastructure. And you were crying and say, hey, I think you want to, yes, we want, but we don't want to show it. And that reminds me of the Christian scriptures. The Bible, remember the New Testament? All right, if you remember the New Testament, some wanted to kill one person, but they didn't want to do it themselves. They wanted to look like he was guilty of doing something, but they didn't want to kill. They want someone else. They wanted to kill that person with someone else's hands, and wanted the blame to fall on that someone else, not on them. So you know exactly who are. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be very nice. And I'm going to use the Pharisees. Wanted to kill our Lord Jesus Christ. And then they went and they got the Romans. And Pilate did it. So he is to be blamed. Pilate, the Romans crucified our Lord Jesus Christ, which is a fact. But if you don't look at who brought him, why, the Romans did not give up about that guy. Anyway, so it's kind of like this. We didn't do it. You did it to yourself. And we did it because we had to. Because you're a criminal. And criminals get this kind of punishment. Because you started a war that we didn't start it. We just defended ourselves. You know how the things goes? So I think it very much resembles that situation from year 33 CE. Wasn't it 33? Yes, it was, because he was 33 years old. Common Era. All right. So anyway, my friends, Danilov, yes, there are many countries, and believe me, he's not talking about the countries like Brazil or Iran or China or India, countries that say, hey, maybe you should talk, maybe you should do. No. He's talking about the guys in his camp, the guys over here that supply him. Why? Because the other guys didn't really give up. Business as usual. These guys are losing big. I'm talking about Czech Republic, Slovakia, Romania, Poland, Bulgaria. They get in big debt. They get in their standards of living are taking a nosedive right there. So, you know what I mean? And the politicians are looking, when are going to be our elections? Because, you know, they're democratic countries and people vote, and then you can lose elections, you know, the majority rules. Okay, and they look and say, well, maybe these guys are not, they don't want to keep going with this. So yeah, he's afraid of those guys, not of the usual criminals, all right, like Putin and all those guys. Remember, I think, let's put it mildly, I mean, as you said, you got to be out of your mind, is that what he said? Yeah, you got to be out of your mind to think that it's good and evil. And that's it. And it's not good and evil and good and evil. But what can I do? People have the freedom to inform themselves, to think for themselves, make decisions, and have their own assessments and opinions. That's the beauty of being a free person. But if you get reprimanded for doing exactly that, then you're not a free person. Especially if you start talking, then it's a lot of freedom taken away. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.